Some big news out of the world of wrestling. AEW's Chris Jericho will be appearing on WWE TV during WrestleMania week. It was announced via Chris Jericho's social media as well as WWE's that Chris Jericho will be joining Stone Cold Steve Austin on April 11th for a special edition of Broken Skull Sessions. Now, we've seen Stone Cold interview the likes of Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Sasha Banks, Bailey, as well as many others on his Broken Skull Sessions, and they've been very entertaining. But this is gonna be probably the most must-see one yet, because this is going to be with someone who's actually outside the realm of WWE currently. Chris Jericho in 2019 signed a 3-year contract with All Elite Wrestling, and since then AEW and WWE have had a bit of a war going on Wednesday nights between NXT and AEW. That's obviously going to come to an end when NXT moves over to Tuesday nights. And what this has everyone saying is that there's a potential for crossover. Like, people are confused that, is Chris Jericho doing this without Tony Khan's permission? Is he just going off and doing this thing with his friend? What's going on? And the reality is that we don't know exactly the details. I'm sure on April 11th on Peacock, we'll find out exactly what kind of led to this, or they'll at least tease it. But from what we know about AEW and WWE is, we know that AEW recently has kind of been closing in or closing the gap with that with these barriers. They've been closing the barriers, rather, between New Japan, between TNA. These forbidden barriers are they're trying to lift them. And this could be them trying to do something along the lines of that with this deal with Chris Jericho. It's also equally as likely that Chris Jericho, who is AEW's marquee star, he's the guy, he is the franchise of AEW right now. When you think about the face of AEW, first name out of your in your mind is Chris Jericho. So, for Jericho and for Tony Khan, I assume that if Jericho really wanted to do this, and he said, Tony, I really want to do this, I'm assuming Tony Khan would have no problem with it. I'm not saying that there wouldn't be parameters. I'm sure there's some stuff that he probably doesn't want discussed on WWE TV. I'm also certain that Tony Khan is a good businessman, and he knows that he's not just going to give Chris Jericho on WWE programming for free. And so that opens up the potential of crossover, which for many fans is appealing. And I'm not saying that, we're going to see John Cena in AEW. We're going to see, the Fiend Bray Wyatt in AEW. No, I think that the more likely thing, if we're talking crossover, if there is a potential crossover, the more likely scenario is that there's probably going to be some performance center talent coming over to AEW or something along those lines, or maybe something like that. But again, that's all speculation at this point. From what we know, Chris Jericho, he's not wrestling. He's not coming back to the WWE. That's not happening. From what we know right now, he is appearing for this interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And for those who've seen the trailer, I implore you to go see it. It's actually pretty intense, and I think it's going to be one hell of an interview one way or another. Because Stone Cold, for one, he actually does great interviews, and so does Jericho on his podcast. So these are two of the best talkers and interviewers, like just talking to each other. So I cannot wait for that. The other thing that's coming out of this, I believe, is some people are assuming that this means that, Chris Jericho is going to be appearing at WrestleMania. No. They have a live event that Friday. AEW does. They have a live event in Jacksonville that Friday. Chris Jericho's contract to do that. There's no way he's going to WrestleMania. Tony Khan would not allow that. That would be a breach of his contract, and that's something that, litigation would happen over. And I don't think Chris Jericho wants to do that either. Chris Jericho has been spent the last 2-3 years building up something that's supposed to go head-to-head, that's supposed to overtake eventually WWE. Why would he go back like that? He wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense. I understand fans are excited, like, oh my God. but that doesn't make sense. That's not going to happen. But Chris Jericho appearing on the Broken Skull Sessions on April 11th. Must-see TV. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.